This is truly an anti-war film. I think this is not a film that glamorizes war, quite the opposite.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
What's your hope for civil discourse following this film?
I'd always hope for civil discourse in a sense. Civil discourse does not preclude anger or assertion. It's just the terms in which things are stated and asserted. Civil discourse does not preclude having a strong position. It just also involves a respect for the person you're talking to. Does the film hope to have that? Definitely. But that would just be in a broad situation where I would hope for that across the board, because I feel like in my country and in your country and in many countries around the world, that kind of discourse is publicly replaced by accusation, division, populist politics, a form of communication that prevents communication, as in two-way communication. In fact, possibly prevents all communication because whatever is stated is not being heard, let alone replied to. It's not even being listened to.
This is truly an anti-war film. I think this is not a film that glamorizes war, quite the opposite. I think this is a film that shows the value of journalism and the importance of journalism for democracy. And I think this is also an anti-polarization film. You know, this is a film that tried to reach out to people and go like, we should talk, we should reach out to each other and put our differences aside and listen more and maybe talk less.
I just was curious if you could talk about the choices you made where the specifics of the war really don't matter, and your choice to ground a war film through almost completely the perspective of citizens.
Partly the perspective of journalists, I'd just say, because this is putting a kind of old-fashioned form of journalism front and center, which was to do with reporting. And the film is trying to echo those journalists. So they might be conflicted or compromised as individuals, but there's a function they're doing, and which is attempting to sort of remove a certain kind of bias from reporting, and then the film is trying to echo that. In terms of citizens, individuals, that would have I guess a sort of purpose which I could riff on, but I'll be being a bit sneaky as I do it. I'll be sort of slipping in my own agenda, which is that there's two things. There's people as individuals, and then there's public discourse. In my experience, individuals don't match the tone of public discourse. And I think public discourse is getting on just fine. I don't need to add to it in that way. I'm more interested in the reasonable way that people talk to each other when they're sitting next to each other in a bar or at work or whatever it happens to be, and using that kind of grammar rather than the public discourse grammar.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you?